I'm impressed. You're probably thinking, what's that all about? Well, look, a hearty shalom to you, Jeffrey Seif here, and my better half,
Barri,
Barri, my wife, who's tooting her horn. Might sound like a funny way to begin, but we're looking at the feasts of the Bible that are noted in the Bible, these fall feasts, and the one is known as the Feast of Yom HaTeruah, the Feast of Blowing, or the Feast of Trumpets.
Yes.
I haven't heard you do that for a while. I don't know. It's just fun kind of sitting next to you.
The short one's easier than the long one.
Yeah, we have a real long one too. Well, why does the good Lord have us tooting our horns at the very beginning of the 7th month of the year?
Well, it ushers in the holiday for sure, and there's very many different uses of the shofar, and it's blown a certain amount of times within the service as to remember and to honor and to call people to an assembly and to announce the seriousness of these holidays.
Yeah, in the synagogue, the way it's used, and those are the uses that you just described. It does have this piercing element to it. It just kind of cuts through stuff. It's like the referee in a football game blowing the whistle. It pierces through the clamor on the field. And speaking of which, shofars were used in the ancient military to denote advance and retreat, and in Bible days, even going back to early days in America too, armies used trumpets to sound, and there's certain signals that telegraph troops to do different things. But God has a feast here in Scripture called the Feast of Trumpets. Let me read a verse and tell me what you think. And she's really the brains of the alphabet, to tell you the truth. That's Dr. Barri K, PhD, in the Bible, by the way. In Leviticus 23, Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, the Lord said to Moses, saying, now he's speaking to Moses, but through Moses to us and to you. He says, speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you are to have a Sabbath rest, a memorial of blowing shofarot, plural shofars. Everybody, it's more than one. It's a holy convocation. You don't do any regular work, and you offer an offering by fire. So you and I grew up in the Jewish world. Why don't you tell the good folk what you did on Rosh Hashanah?
Well, we grew up mostly in the Orthodox tradition of Judaism. So I remember that my parents paid for the seats, which is not unusual because there's no tithes or anything like that collected. And there was a lot of activity going on. That shofar was blown quite a few times throughout the service. And we took the day off from school. That my dad took the day off from work. We celebrated it. And then we had a nice family lunch afterwards because none of us worked on that day, aunts and uncles, etc. So we got together to eat afterwards.
Do you remember any special foods?
Yes, apples and honey, brisket, apples and honey. Yes.
It's so the way we celebrated it in the synagogue. It's a big event. It's just like the 7th day is special in the Hebrew Bible, and the 7th year, the year of Jubilee. The 7th month every year is a biggie. Time out. Everything stops. The shofar is blown. We pierce through the darkness, if you will, and it's a call together of the community for prayer and care. Special foods. What's that?
Apples and honey. And I think also, I'm just going to interject because it's the only holiday that begins on the new moon, which is kind of interesting because it's not the new year, that's Nisan in the spring, but it's the head of the year, Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
So, but the foods are apples and honey to usher in a new year.
Yeah, it sounds odd. It's the 7th month of the year, but in the Jewish world, it's celebrated as the new year.
Yeah.
In the biblical calendar, Passover, redemption, is really the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's celebrated on the first day of the 7th month. And so I remember it fondly with the foods. You mentioned apples and honey. Why don't you tell folk what that's all about?
Well, it's the sweet, and you dip it in there to remember the sweetness. And there's, apples are also tart. There's a little bit of sour there as well. But it's a celebratory food.
Yeah, and there's a gesture, may your new year be sweet. If you look at the Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, or the Yom Teruah, the Feast of Trumpets, it calls people together, and it kind of sets the clock. 10 days later, there's the Day of Atonement. Subsequent to that, there's Tabernacles. It's like a month of religion, if you will. And it's timely, too, by the way, because Rosh Hashanah starts, if you figure agrarians, farmers, they're finishing their labors. They brought in their crops and everything, and they'll come and pay their tithes. And there's a time out where the family gets together and regroups after working a tough season. And we're looking to get things right with God in the hopes that he will then show up over the horizon into the new year, and may your new year be sweet.
I believe in the Bible there's only one verse. In Leviticus, there's others in Numbers, but only one verse in Leviticus for the mandate of this holiday, which is interesting, and yet we spend all day in the sanctuary, listen to the shofar blown.
Yeah, it's a big one. And I'll kind of put a wrap on this, but say anything that you want to add to it. We live, and we're very much concerned with the things of this world. We need to be. Have to pay the rent, pay the insurance, put gas in the car. I mean, as we make our journey through life, we're busy attending to the things of life. But those of us with faith see God as the source of our life ultimately. And we gather together and we give him his due. Jews pray, Lord, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Lord, may your face shine upon us and give us peace. We really do see God as source, correct?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And so to give him his due, to take time out as a community, and to kind of push a reset button from the secular to the sacred now, to have dedicated space to turn our attention to the Lord. I think it's a good thing. What say you?
Well, and I also remembered that there were no musical instruments in the synagogue. There were choirs, there were songs sung, but no musical instruments, just the singing of the different prayers, the chanting. It was beautiful. And it also ushers in the 10 days of awe, Yamim Norim. And those are the 10 days leading into the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, where you examine your heart. You've had the month of Elul, to reflect, but now these are the 10 days of awe where the Jewish people believe that they need to do good so that their name will be written in the book of life, because the books are closed on Yom Kippur.
Right, very good. Well, we're going to walk through the feasts. And by the way, thank you for looking our way this day. Learn a little bit about the Bible, and hope it stimulates some faith and guides it. So blessings to you.